Hello, everyone, and welcome to Solar Sailing, episode 38. And I am Jason, the proud owner of Soul Seeker, a 37-foot 1986 Prout Snow Goose Elite. The weirdest word to use in there because it's just an old girl. And we have removed the mast and sailing rigging and made her into a solar electric cruiser. And we are so excited to leave our old land life behind coming at the end of May and move aboard full time as we go around America's Great Loop. So be staying tuned to our channel. Please like, subscribe, all the things. But enough about that. Let's hear from Patrick or Aaron, our co hosts, and let them update you on where they are.
Hey guys, my name is Aaron from Extraordinary Horizons. We're at the tail end of a refit renovation on a 65-foot custom one-off power catamaran. We are super excited to get out there finally, chomping at the bit. We are down here in South Florida, sunny, hot South Florida. So I'll talk a little bit more because Patrick got bumped off. But all right, there he's back. All right, so yeah, that's it. On to Patrick.
Thanks. Seems I'm having some connection trouble. I've left my boat. I was on board last week, and I'm in South Africa at the moment. And it seems like I'm having a long distance internet hop over here. Patrick from sailing vessel Electra. Sailing Electra is our little boat. We've been sailing for 3 years now, fully electrically powered. It's been brilliant. It works so much better than I thought it would. If I'd known how well it worked, I wouldn't have a mast, but I do have a mast. So good to speak to you all.
It's so great to have our special guest here today. Rob Moore is the proud owner, captain, operator, solar extraordinaire who has joined us. He is actually on his boat, Megawatt. So, Rob, say hi to everyone, and then we'll have a little chat, and then we'll turn it over to you.
Great. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Appreciate it. I'm in Melbourne, Florida. I just looked it up on my weather app.
Wow. I just left there last night. Wow. All right.
And I want to thank Patrick because I wouldn't have done this without his YouTube channel. So really
fantastic stuff. And so I just want to remind everyone that we invite your active participation during our live streams. And so you can do that by engaging in the chat, and we will showcase your questions, comments, as they pertain to the conversation, or even if they steer us a little bit, that's fine. We also have in every episode a reminder that the things that we share with you during our show are strictly our passion projects. They are not guaranteed. They're our adventure, and we are sharing it with you in the hope that it might inspire you, that it might encourage you, that it might motivate you. And we hope that you'll share your stories as well, because we certainly love that same in return. Now, for today's discussion, we really want to focus in on Megawatt, and I'm telling you, Rob's got some adventures to share. Like I'm so eager to hear more about one ordeal that you'll hear about that I'm just kind of antsy. That might be the coffee, but I'm kind of antsy. I can't wait to have a deeper conversation about some drama on the high seas that he encountered. So, Rob, take it away. Tell us a little bit about your boat, and then we'll dive into the slideshow.
Okay, I got a Gemini 3400. It's 34 feet long and just under 15 feet wide. The mast is 49 feet. So that's basically the boat that I bought. It needed a lot of work. It had already had the diesel removed, and I have a 25 horse outboard Yamaha on the back that I use. And right now I'm running kind of hybrid. So I was so excited and retired. I put on a huge solar arch, and I had 10 580 commercial panels on it.
Wow. Nice.
So I had quite a bit of solar, got it all in the water. Didn't really have much time to test because of the closing window to get south. It was already in November. I bought it beginning of October. So, you know, it was a tear to get it ready and get into the water. And we had to go down the Connecticut River into the Long Island Sound, out through the New York Harbor, and then head south, basically. So the first couple days, you know, we're down the Connecticut River, and then we headed out in the Long Island Sound. And it said 3-footers, but they were more like 5 to 6 in building. And towards the end of the day, I changed where we were going to go for anchorage because we couldn't make it, and speeded up with the Yamaha in and started pushing harder. And we broke into a big wave, and one side of the solar arch broke through the side of the boat on the sugar scoops. And so now it's beating up against the hull because it's beat through the steps, and we're like 3/4 of a mile from shore. So we limped into the first marina we could get to. The guy was really helpful. And so we took everything off of it, all the solar, all the panels, brought them back to our home base in New Hampshire, and proceeded down as basically a sailboat with a gas outboard until we got to St. Augustine, when I could kind of cob some more panels on it. My biggest mistake, I think, was, you know, the weight of those commercial panels was way more than the panels that Patrick has, and that's what I ended up with in the end. And I should have done my better due diligence with where I was mounting fiberglass to. And I can show you, like in the front, I mounted some aluminum angles, and in the back, I just bolted to the side of the sugar scoop, and that just did not work out. So lesson learned, you know, it was a little exciting. I put on my life jacket, that was for sure, because I was kind of afraid that would punch through the hull. And the really good thing was, it is a wet well where the rudders are, so even if it had punched through the hull, I think I would have been okay, but I was definitely sweating a bit until we got to shore.
Wow. Hey, Rob, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So did you use any other supporting anything on the side of the sugar scoop, like a backing plate or added fiberglass?
Okay. I had a metal backing plate on the back that was wider than the plate on the front. I mean, these are lightweight catamarans, and so it wasn't super thick there. I just thought with the steps, it would be a solid place and I would be okay, and I just wasn't. Wow. And so big mistake on my part. So that basically ended my solar adventure until I got to St. Augustine on a mooring ball, and I could get some things on. I mean, by then I had a complete electric kitchen, right? So there was no way to run any of that without running a gas generator, because lithium batteries, but if you can't charge them, you can't charge them. It doesn't matter, you know, how much lithium you got if you can't charge it.
Right.
It's only good for a little while, and then you got nothing.
Yeah, interesting.
Wow.
Well, you'll have another. You'll have another shot. You lived for another day, so we're
going into dry dock in a couple months, and we're going back to New Hampshire for the summer, and then when I come back, we'll rework the solar arch, and I think we'll be up around 10 panels. I don't think I got 6 right now, and it's just not enough, really.
And then you're running the Navy 6.0s, is that right? When you do run those?
Yep, I run those from like 11 to 2 right now, at like 600 watts each, and then with the gas motor just barely in gear, like at like 2,000 RPMs, I can do around 4.5 knots like that, and I get pretty good gas mileage like that. Yeah. I'd rather be all solar because I don't like listening to the gas motor, and it's so nice. Like, you know, never mind. It's so nice to anchor because I'm a one-man show as far as operating the boat, so it's so nice to be able to go up front and control the boat from up, like right where you're standing. You know.
Yeah, that's what you were saying to me, Jason, about having the remote steering.
Yeah.
digital steering.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
something that Patrick modeled as well. Like, I mean, it's so awesome that e-propulsion. I don't know of anyone else, honestly. I've been digging who does the wireless throttles like that. It's Patrick's bragged about that. Patrick, any words on that?
It's my favorite feature, and I don't think anyone value of it in the manufacturers, and I really don't know why. I mean, especially for a single-hander, being able to go out to the front of the boat to anchor and to lift anchor, it's a game changer. It's mind-blowing how much better it is.
Yeah, if I could get wireless control of my rudders as well, which I actually Patrick is maybe working on something that could be a solution. I don't know. Stay tuned, folks. But yeah, I would be completely wireless and loving it. Now, Rob, as far as yours, tell me a little bit more. Where specifically did this take place again? I lost that part.
It was in the Long Island Sound.
So you were up by New York City, kind of up in that, well, just past New York City, like in the Sound.
I had just come out of the Connecticut River. I hadn't gone more than 15 miles probably from the Connecticut River. I was on the Connecticut side. I was quite a ways down from New York yet. It took me 2 more days to get up to New York once I had taken off all the panels and started again. And I had to wait a week for another weather window.
Wow.
So what this is probably something good to put out there. What are you going to do different now so that the same thing doesn't possibly happen again?
So a couple things. First of all, I mounted my solar tower to the outside of my sugar scoop, and I found it really as far as getting on and off with the dinghy and docks and everything. So we're going to move them to the inside of the sugar scoops and project out from there high enough. And I'm going to use aluminum angle iron reinforcement top and bottom of the steps, and reinforce the fiberglass as well. I think I'm also going with lighter panels. These panels I got off of Facebook, they were like an insurance claim, and so I have so many of them, and I have them running at home. My house, I don't pay for any electricity, and I sell back. I sell
great tie.
$1,000 a year back to the
wow, that's good
and everything, and so that's nice. So I just had all these panels, but it was a mistake because I never calculated. I calculated after the fact weight per watt, and it was a drastic difference for these commercial panels to the ones that Patrick had used. I bought them. I can't think of their name right now. I'm senior moment.
SunPower Maxi.
But I want to say to people, if you're going to do this, weight is very important. So you should really think about what your weight per watt is on the panels that you're looking at. I think that's an important thing to think about. I really do. I mean, I don't want flexible panels. I don't think they're worth it personally, but I think that was a valuable lesson for me. And I was so enthusiastic and such a rush to just get going. And we bought the boat late. I should have just waited until the following year. It
happens. I mean, but on a good note, you learned, right? That's how we learn, right?
Live to tell the tale.
My makeshift solar thing I got right now. I mean, it's kind of makeshift, but it works and it shakes around a bit. But it'll be fine until we get it fixed. I couldn't keep running a Honda generator. Oh my God, it drove me crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so Rob, I just bought one because for me on SoulSeeker, it's like, okay, well, we are solar only, so I'm listening intently to everything you're talking about. Like, oh my God, I need to take notes and learn from Rob here. But I just bought it because it's like, God, I can't imagine not having some kind of second form of power production. And if I ever have to light that thing up, I'm going to cry. I will call you and I will just let you be the one who kicks me in the butt and says, just suck it up and deal with it. I had to do it.
My advice would be to start that once a week for an hour. We start mine now once a week for an hour. I pull it out of its little compartment, I plug it in, I give the batteries a little extra, right?
Just give it a little kick.
amperage on my Victron Multiplus to like 10, so it doesn't make a lot of noise. But I want to work it a little. If you don't run things like that, they're not going to work when you need them.
Right.
You know, it's like the outboard. If I was running electric all the time, I would run that once a week, you know, for an hour or two, because it's good not to use it. Like,
that's one of those things that I love about electrics, right? Is the fact that you can pretty much plug it in and go, versus these others you got to keep them running, you got to keep the fluids moving, you got all that stuff.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more moving parts that have to be maintained that cost money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be electric dinghy next year too. Right now, I have a motor that came with the boat, and it's a really nice outboard. But this morning, the kill switch went bad, and so I had to makeshift something to get the dog to shore, so we could, you know.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now let's go ahead and dive in. If I'm going to offer to the co-host, do you guys have anything that you want to chat about before we dive into the slideshow?
No.
I'm waiting to see. Let's get the slideshow going.
All right, let's do it. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to move us here, and then let's verify that the scene's coming up right like we want it. Yep,
Yeah,
looks good in
you're
my
good.
brain. All
You're
right,
good.
so Rob, talk us through. We'll start here on the thumbnail. First of all, let's start with that glorious logo. Tell me the story behind that. Who designed it? I like it. It's cool. Talk to me about it.
So the reason I can do this trip is because of my mom, basically. So this is her email.
Her email is Megawatt.
Yeah, her name. She's passed away, but her name was Meg, and when she made it up, she made Megawatt as her email.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
So the friend of mine, one of his brother owns a sign company, and they, after 7 or 8 emails, we got this, which I really love, on, you know, designed and made up, and it was very reasonable. Actually, it was a sign company, and they made me the stickers that go on the side of the boat. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love the story behind that. And remind us, this is a Gemini. What year Gemini?
Oh, it's a 98, I believe. I should know that off the top of my head, shouldn't I? But I don't.
No, I get it. So is that in the image? Is that the solar arch that had the problem?
Yeah, that's the solar arch. It's one of those pre-built arches that you kind of bolt together, and it was solid enough. It wasn't the arch's fault. It was definitely the installer's fault.
Wow. So as we move to the next slide here, what we're going to see is a beautiful renovation project you've got going on here in your galley. Tell us more.
So yeah, the plumbing was a disaster. I had PEX. I remodeled a couple houses. So I had the PEX cooling, so I redid all the hot water and cold water lines with PEX, and put an electric hot water in, and a deep kitchen sink. That was the biggest sink I could possibly throw in there. Then I have an air fryer combination oven, and an ice maker, which we love. It doesn't draw that much juice, and it makes ice, little tiny balls of ice really quickly. We couldn't live without ice maker.
Yeah, no kidding. So the ice maker's right up here, this one right here.
Yeah, we love that little model. There was some sailing channel that I watched that suggested that, and I think it's fantastic. Like, we turn it on once in the morning for like an hour, and once at night for an hour, and then that's it.
That's awesome. And I love your sink too. That's a nice sink.
Yeah, it took a lot of shopping around on Amazon to find something that I could just squeeze in there, you know, as it is.
Yep.
With yeah.
Now, what's going on here with the PEX? And this is running through. Looks like you did some fiberglass work there too. Yeah.
No, that's just running through. It all tore apart. That's running through one of the berths.
Gotcha.
Also ran to the back. We shower. What little we do for showering is basically outside on the sugar scoop. don't really like the bathroom for showering. It's too tight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ran out to the back, so I have a an outdoor shower, and we can use that.
Nice. And then this here, you've already addressed it, but is this one of those combos?
It doesn't have a cooktop. I have a separate induction top. It's just an air fryer, kitchen, and bake oven. So it works really well. We can cook anything we need, except it doesn't have a cooktop. So I
Right.
built a cheap plywood thing over the top. I have a toaster oven and a coffee pot, and I can put the induction top on there and plug it in.
Beautiful. What is the best thing you've baked in it?
Cookies.
I made brownies, actually.
Oh, let's go. I love
made
it.
Brownies when I just got to Georgia. It was going to be a blow for 3 days, and so I found a little anchorage in a corner, and there was not much to do but sit on the boat. So I made brownies. It was really cold outside, so it was really, if it's decent outside, I can do work on. There's always something to do on the boat, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Shortage of work. That's for sure.
That's all the fun, right?
Right.
Now then we go outside and tell me what I'm looking at here. We're getting into the electronics now.
Yeah, so this is my new solar system at the moment, and I had to makeshift panels on as easy as possible on a mooring. So this is attached to 2 rails for my safety rail, and I basically have a Velcro clip that I unclip it and it folds down so I can go up to the front, or if I'm coming in a dock, because it sticks out about 18 inches past the boat. But when it folds in, it's basically even with the rub rail. So I have one on each side like that. I can just fold them up and fold them down. I got safety tape running back to the lifeline.
So hey Rob, when you redo your solar arch, are you gonna leave these panels there too, or are you gonna remove them?
Undecided. I would like to do, because right now I have safety cables. I would like hard rails running at least where I'm attached to. I had to, I'm the uprights, and then I attach some metal with these hinges. I mean, it works and it's pretty solid. I'm pretty confident in it.
Yeah, that looks
It
great.
might
Now, what
stay-
do you do as far as the cables, like the power cables, kind of keep you from being able to walk this area? I guess you could walk on top of the rooftop, yeah?
That's where you walk anyways. Nobody walks down the side of those Geminis. That's only about 6 or 7 inches wide. So I fold that down, and there's a runway that's like 18 inches there that I can walk up and down. And that's how I always get to the anchor.
Got it.
So this just folds out of the way, so it makes it easier. Sometimes I don't even take it down. I can get out there without taking it down. But
Okay.
it definitely coming up to a dock, I don't want those sticking out, or going into a canal lock.
Yeah.
I don't think they would be a good idea, so I had to have a way to hinge them back.
Oh, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I like it too.
Now, when you look at your MPPTs here, what size did you use on these?
So those are just the 120 amp, 100 volt, 20 amps. The small ones. I like redundancy, because if I lose one, I've only lost one. If I have a big controller and I lose it, I've lost everything. Where I have 4 of these. I'm not using all of them with the panels I have right now, but I have 4 of them, and so I'm running 2 panels off, each one, and I'm only.
I totally agree. I think that's brilliant to do that. I think it's the way to go. I know Aaron's getting ready here. I want him to just go ahead and do it, but he just dragging his feet and his
I gotta go in phases, right? I gotta stay focused on getting the big girl in the water, and then go on to the next thing.
He's trying to go responsibly, Rob, and I just want him to dive full in.
Yeah.
And no, The crazy
carelessly.
thing is when he does do that, I really hope he goes this route like you've done, Patrick's done, I've done, where I would far rather have multiple MPPTs than one big one.
Yeah,
Like that's just silly.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm really big into redundancy too, so everything that I'm seeing here is really cool. um, I like the way that you did the hybrid system where you have that Yamaha 25 and you have the two electric motors. Like I'm a little bit of a rebel against Patrick and Jason, right? I'm a hybrid guy, right? I'm not a purist. So I like the idea of having something, right? I don't know if I would do gas, but it makes sense on your boat. But there's always something as a backup, right? You have redundancy because what happens if you run out of batteries? What happens if your Yamaha breaks? So you always have something to fall back on.
Yeah, this was the guy who sold me the boat. This was a brand new motor. It had just been installed on the boat. I was
Wow.
like, why would I take this off? Right? Like
Right.
that just doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, the gas to diesel, I get the diesel thing. I also don't like the smell of diesel. I had a diesel heater. I didn't really care for smelling the diesel fuel all that much, but
Yeah.
that's just me, so I'm hoping to get down where I only need to carry like 10 gallons of gas with me in an emergency case and use it once in a while. Or we have plans to go to the Bahamas. I think we'll probably run over at night, or it will be some dark running, and it's always handy to not be running your batteries wicked low. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think you've got a good system going there. I'm eager to find out when you install your solar again. I know you were talking about you're considering the benefits of the mast. Tell me honestly, how often do you actually raise your sails?
I first of all, I'm not really a proficient sailor, so let me be completely honest. I
Fair
have not.
enough.
I've been around boats all my life, but I've done barely any sailing until I got this boat. So I'm not real good sailor by any stretch of the imagination. We're only using the front sail here and there once in a while. We seem to be always going upwind. I don't know if it's because we're coming from the north or the south. We just pounded into everything all the time, and we're basically ICW now. Like that's what we want to do, and a little trip to the Keys in the Bahamas. But the ICW is going to be a lot of it. I don't see any value. I was originally going to take the boom down and leave the mast, and I've changed my mind. I'm taking it off. I just, between the bridges and how little I've used it, I just don't see, and how much easier it's going to be to get the solar on, like, and neatly that I can get the solar on, in my opinion. It's just not worth it to me.
Well, and you're going to eliminate all that shading that's going to just come at throughout every day with all the lines and the shadow of the mast and all that. So, Patrick, you heard it here. Rob is looking to remove the mast that
Yeah.
would leave you on today's show as the only one with a mast remaining. Could you be joining one day on Electra? And I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Electra will never have a major mast work happening again. I won't spend that money again that I would. And if I could have gone back into time, I wouldn't have spent that money in the first place. The foresail, the Genoa, is lovely. I love my foresail. It's so easy to put up and put down. I put it up anytime the wind is in the right direction. The boom is a waste of money on an electric boat. There's actually two benefits to having a mast. The first one is if you're crossing oceans. It's better than the sun. Sailboats are better than electric boats at crossing oceans. If you're not going to cross oceans, your only benefit is to have a better resale price. That's it. There's nothing else. Otherwise, the electric outperforms it completely.
Rob, what do you think about that as you're making your plans?
Yeah, I'm taking it down. I decided that, and yeah, I agree with the resale value, and it's been a little bit of debate. But I bought this boat in the thing of thinking this was my retirement plan, and when I can't use it anymore, it will be, if it's worthless, it's worthless. I've thrown the money away, and I've accepted that kind of like responsibility. I'm like,
So
okay, I
you've gotten your money's
Yeah.
worth, you're moving on,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Yeah.
to get my
No.
money, and that's that. Like, I'm not going to worry about resale value at all. I'm going to use it how I want to use it, and
Yeah.
that's
Now, for me, the Gemini is actually the perfect boat to convert to a fully electric boat. I've always thought if there was one in Europe, because they're very rare in Europe, you don't see them at all, that would have been my first choice of boats. The Cadillac would have been my second choice. And it's for a bit of weird reasons. I mean, you said the build is a lot lighter, but because of that, the boat is a lot lighter. And I think your draft, if I'm right, your draft is like just over a foot or something like that compared to the 2 or 3 feet for the rest of us. I think it could be an extremely efficient boat. I'm really hoping we get some really good numbers out of it when you do start testing eventually.
So I've run it right now, and I'm running really heavy, and drafts about 18 to 20 inches with it the way it sits right now because it's so heavy. We have all the cold weather gear and way too much stuff, and we left Connecticut, and we can't get it off right now. So it just is. So at like 1100 watts per motor with we were into about 11 or 12 headwind. I can do about 2.93 knots, right?
Okay.
And but right now with what I got for solar, I can't maintain that. So you know, I can't. If I could, that would be great. The other thing I don't know. I need an autopilot that I can run on the ICW. Mine's just not good enough. It's fine for open water, and I can set a heading, but it won't keep a tight heading. You know what I mean? It drifts back and forth.
Keep you in the channel.
Yeah, so I can't stay in the channel. So that's a little frustrating. There's sections where it's not a big deal, and you're like, okay, let it drift around. It doesn't matter. But a lot of the ICW is pretty tight. So.
It's amazing. I love hearing about where you're going. Excuse me. I love hearing and seeing your boat and your thoughts and all that. Honestly, it makes me, because we're currently paying to store our mast and rigging and sails, and my wife is like, "Are you ever going to put it back up?" And I'm like, "No." But I just can't let it go. It's like right there. Like, why get rid of it? And if we ever resell it, then someone will probably want it. And I'm hearing you going, God, he's probably right.
Maybe you need to get to Tasmania by boat one day. Then you can do this.
That will never be happening. That's what planes were created for. Let's dive back over to the slideshow real quick, because I want to show this last slide is kind of pivotal because it's kind of wraps up his project. And so I want to hear what Rob has to say about his mounting location for his motors. So let's dive over there and take a look at this. Okay, so you're coming off of the sugar scoops with your electrics, yeah?
Yeah. So, yeah, I have a friend who is an aluminum welder, and so he welded me up these brackets that I fastened to the bottom of the sugar scoops, because you guys both had problems with getting your motors deep enough.
Yeah.
Probably too deep because they get splashed on quite a bit, and I'm a little concerned. I'm getting a fan fault quite often out of my starboard motor, and I have to reset it to get it to clear. So I'm worried about that a little tiny bit, but they're not shallow. I mean, you get into 6 or 7 foot waves, yeah, you get that where they pop out for a split second. I don't know if you could ever get away from that. I don't know. This seems to be working out well. It seems to be strong enough. I can stand on those. They're a little bit in the way as far as access to the dinghy, but we pull to the side and use the side rail to get on and off the boat. So it works out pretty well, really.
Rob, is your dinghy a rib?
Yeah, I have a West Marine hard bottom rib. So basically it's a blow up, but it has the hard plastic bottom, because I knew I was going to be running up onto rocks and sand and cement boat ramps, right, with the dog. So I was like, I just want something that can take the abuse.
So this motor here, is this your your gas outboard?
Yeah.
And what's the depth comparison? Are they at about the same depth?
The Yamaha is probably actually not as deep as the two electrics.
Oh, interesting.
But it is further forward, so that helps. Yeah.
Yes, it's further forward. And yeah, so part of the reason for pushing those back is the breakaway rudders at the back, right? I could have probably came up with a way to mount those motors on the inside of the hull, but it would have been a lot more time consuming. And again, time
Yeah.
was essence for me in some ways.
Mm.
And I watched Patrick struggle with his control. Like I have pins for mine right now, they're pinned straight, but I can change the angles. But I can maneuver pretty well coming up to a dock.
So you've got pretty good differential steering.
Yeah, I can get pretty good. That's the other thing about those Bluetooth things. I can stand on the front.
Love that.
And launch by myself because I had to do it off docks quite often, right? I can stand on the front and release the front rope in a current and still take off from there.
That's brilliant.
The Bluetooth motors, which would be impossible in a boat.
It's like
controls in the back.
It's like a remote control car, right? I mean, you're basically a remote control boat. You're basically controlling it. What do you control it from? Your phone, or you control it from some external drone-like thing?
No, I'm just using the Bluetooth controllers. I actually
you got the top mounts.
Yeah, I have a Bluetooth. I have the side shift ones too. I bought and then went with the Bluetooth controllers. So I have all these extra controllers. I got to try to sell here when I get back to New Hampshire.
Now, how often do you have any challenges, or maybe you don't? But those top mount controllers, as we're aware, have the little solar panel on them, and like I know Patrick has had some videos where he's sharing about the challenges that he's faced with that. I've yet to face that, but what about you, Rob? How have you handled that?
So my cockpit, like where I drive, there's like two steps, kind of like large steps that are seating as well. And so that sits basically in the sun all the time because I just have it mounted to a little piece of ply. I have the two of them mounted a little piece of plywood, right, that I carry with me. So I just put them in the sun for half or 3/4 of the day and the midday. So I've had no problem with keeping them charged so far. Even through the winter, we're always charged.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
How often do you put them in a charging position? Like how often do you I need them to charge, I'm going to set them in the sun?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's easy for me because kind of where I naturally want to set them, they're in the sun.
Oh, perfect.
Which works out well. I keep meaning to do some sort of strap system so I can strap them to me and carry them around and still have my hands free. Basically, I set them down, somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if I'm spilling the beans here, but Patrick's done just that on his boat. As a teacher myself, or in an education background, the lanyard is every person in that profession must have a lanyard or you're not legitimate. And so when I went aboard Electra there in June, here goes Patrick, just makes a beeline to the anchoring process. And what does he do? He slaps on a lanyard and puts his top mount controllers right here. And I'm sitting there going, what the heck is happening? This is the most crazy smart thing I've ever seen. And here he is doing this number while he's got his feet pulling in. I'm like, oh my God. It's like the traditional, like he's playing an instrument and playing all this stuff. You know what I mean? So Patrick, what led you to the lanyard approach? Was it just an epiphany or you saw it somewhere?
I copied somebody and I can't remember who he was. I believe it was another American.
Oh,
who had his controls mounted that he could just sit them on his chest like that.
Love it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I've yet to do it, but I just mounted a little piece of ply and it works out pretty well for me most of the time.
Yeah, I don't use them on the lanyard myself very often. I keep the lanyard so I don't drop them in the water. That's the big reason.
Yeah. Jason, when you were there, he was just showing off. So.
Oh, I was impressed. I love it when people show off because then you're like, here we go, let's go. Talk about showing off. Here I am trying to pay attention and engage with the topic, and all I get distracted by is Rob's dang background. There are boats flying by, there's water spraying. I'm like, God, this guy's living it. He's living the life. That's great. Rob, tell me this. Are you happy to, I don't know how I see you've got Starlink. I'm
I do.
assuming maybe you're on a phone or on a computer, I don't know, iPad. Yeah, would you be happy to try taking us on a walking tour?
Sure, we can try that. Would I flip my camera around here or?
So you could, I'm not sure if you do have the little thing, it'll be like a circular arrow, but if not, you can just turn us and we'll talk you through.
Okay, well, we can look at the hole in my hull if you want.
Oh my. Let's start off with the best part, right?
It'll only get better from there, right?
I wanted you to say, "Here, hold my beer," when you did that.
So
On my phone, just for interest, I've got a little drop down next to the video camera, which lets me flip between front and back camera.
So can you see my helm right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's basically my helm, and that's my iPad that I use for navigation. Kind of clips in there. It's not the right size. And there's the solar panel setup that I have for, and it's basically just clipped there, and you can basically just undo this.
Dude is literally one-handing this. Look at that.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's good. That's cool. Yeah.
Aaron, that's exactly what you were talking about, brother.
It's in the center of the panel, pretty close to the center of the panel. So the gravity, it just gravitationally goes right back like that.
What is it?
Pull it
what
over.
Is that? A little bungee cord or something that you had clipped on there or something?
It's a Velcro with a carabiner for doing cords, and it's never let me down. I can physically not pull that off of there, and I can take it off in a second with the Velcro.
Simple.
So you can kind of see how I did that. It's pretty makeshift with the 2x3s and the U-bolts, but it's solid. And then you can see I have those safety cables to the safety rail there, so that if anything went wrong, the panel's not going anywhere.
It'll dangle, but it's not going to fall in.
Right. And then we can go down. And
so as Rob is taking us to this hole in his boat, I want to remind our viewers, if you have questions as he's giving us this tour, toss them in there. If you want to see something, maybe he'll show you.
So there's the hole in my boat.
Yeah, that's a big hole.
Yeah. I mean, it's big, but definitely fixable, right?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to fix it myself or whether I'm going to pay. I'm going to get some estimates, I think. I haven't done any fiberglass work. I've watched lots of YouTube videos, but I haven't done any. So while we're here, we can look at what I got for a motor setup.
Oh, nice.
See that? And see, I got the pull pins. I can adjust the motors if I want with 2 pins and angle them in and out. I haven't needed that so far. So, I dreamed of having some sort of hydraulic steering for them and, some electronics that's coupled to my actual steering. But we'll see, and here's how I had it mounted in the front, which was really rugged. This worked out really well. I think if I'd have done that in both places, I think I would have been fine. I don't know if you can see it, because I can't.
Rob, can you angle down just a little bit more?
Sure.
Can you zoom? Are you able to zoom in any or no? Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, nice.
Perfect.
So that's what I've done in both places, I think, and I would have had a much more stable.
Yeah, those are big. Yeah.
That would have worked out, and then that's my electric entrance. We can see the Yamaha if you want to see it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean it's a perfect simple setup. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What incredible views! Look at that.
Be all over the place. That's the other thing. I have to tow right now because I can't really support my dinghy anywhere. So I'm always towing my dinghy, which isn't the most efficient thing.
Sure.
Right. Yep.
So,
Okay, so there's your boom. It's resting between panels right now.
yeah, you can lift it up and get it to go to the side. You can't run it over the top of the panels, really, if you wanted to sail with it over the panels. I think that would be tough to do. But you could get it to the side of the panels, you know, hanging off the side of the boat.
Yeah.
But like I said, I pretty much made the decision that it's all coming down. And I think I'm just gonna see if I can get any money for it, and that's gonna be that.
Patrick, what do you think? You think he's going to have any trouble selling just the mast and rigging?
No.
I mean, there's a lot of Geminis floating around. So, you know, if you can find somebody who's had an accident or something like that that's got a bit of damage, sail the rigging, or otherwise any sailboat that's of the same size. It's not a Gemini specific thing. You might have some luck. I don't know what the market is like there. In Europe, for my boat, there was nothing. You know, nobody wanted my mast. I would have thrown it away. So
throw it up on Facebook Marketplace in Florida or North Carolina, and you're good.
Gobble them up.
I might be able to refurb my cost at least of removing it. I might be able to get somebody to come and take it all down and not infer any cost.
In looking around on Facebook Marketplace for similar things, I've seen them like between $600 to $800 to $1,000. With the, you know, if the rigging is okay, and you know, I mean, you may even be able to get more because yours is all good. Like the sails are good, right? The rigging is good, the mast is good, the boom. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Like I really like the idea that Patrick has now, where he's never going to take down the Genoa.
The mast stays, the boom goes. Yeah.
So this is an unfinished project. I don't have this tied in yet. My
Got a nav center, electrical.
Yeah, and then you can see my controllers. This is our mast.
Cool.
Very nice.
It's a very similar layout to my boat, actually.
Yeah. And this is our kitchen, which is, you know, functional.
Is that galley up or galley even with the salon, or is it you step down?
2 steps down into the hull, both sides.
Yeah, so what happens if you're standing in the galley? Can you talk to people in the salon? Can you see them, or you're down?
Look, if I go down, I can reach.
Oh yeah. It's perfect. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool.
I can reach the table from the galley, no problem.
Yeah. All right.
This is
cool.
This is our nice deep sink with dishes in it that I need to do.
I love it. He's keeping it real, folks.
And that's basically our kitchen whole setup. We have an induction top that we take out that's under the counter.
That's clean. Very nice.
Yeah.
The real question of all questions, was there ice in the ice maker?
There is ice in the ice maker. I'm going to have an iced tea when this is all done.
Oh, very nice. Okay, Rob, I saw that you have netting. I presume that's keep the insects out.
Mosquitoes.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you attach that? Did you use Velcro? What did you use to attach that above the doorway?
So it's one of those cheap magnetic door things that's
I love those.
The right size. So I cut it at the bottom and Velcroed it down, and basically we just kind of weighted at the bottom. It's not perfect, but it works pretty well to keep the bugs out.
But it still lets a breeze through.
Still lets the breeze through. We open the 2 front hatches, one in the bedroom and one in the bathroom, and then let the air flow out. Because anchor, unless the current's really strong, which on occasions happen, you're always facing into the wind. So
that's a cool setup.
Love it. Yeah. That's cool, man. What about your battery? Where's your big battery?
So my batteries, that's a bit of a sore subject with me. So I bought 24 volt this company that I used, Battery Connect, it's called, and they sell used and overstock lithium batteries and all kinds of parts. I have a bunch of stuff, and I built quite a bit of the stuff that I use at home from them as well for my battery storage. So they had these 24 volt 90 amp hour batteries that were at a reasonable price, and supposedly they had lockout BMSs. So in other words, they were in a big storage unit, storage thing, but they never got used because the BMS never worked properly. So I got 48 volt things and just took the tops off the 24 volt batteries and put them together. So I had a 48, so I could build whatever I wanted out of those. The unfortunate part is, I think they were misinformed, or they out now misrepresentation, because I have cells that don't work the same. So I bounce back and forth and I can't get them properly balanced, which means I probably only have a 40 amp hour battery really, because it's bouncing off the low protection and the high protection because one cell's always off. So this summer I'm going to tear them completely apart and take all the cells and balance the cells and get rid of the cells that discharge, and don't stay in things. So I'm gonna have to rebuild the battery completely, or I just go and buy, new cells.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good storage at home. I have 560 amp hours on my home system that I've built, and it works perfectly. You know what I mean? But these are they're always hitting low or high cell when you charge them.
What kind of BMS are you running?
I am running a it's like an overkill solar. Like the app for overkill solar works for these particular units.
It's
and they have
probably the same one I've got then, yeah.
Yeah.
A JBD or something, yeah.
It's not the BMSs. It's really it's the cells themselves.
The only reason I'm asking is the active balancing BMSs can cater for the odd bad cell. But the passive balancing, which I've got, and I think you've got the same, they can't handle any bad cells.
But the problem with really high active balancing is you're not truly balancing at peak like you should. You know what I mean? So you're still losing something there in the end.
Correct. Too. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, you've got to have good cells, and I think that's the core of your problem now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take them all out, charge them the top, see how they discharge, see what the resistance is, and match cells better. I mean, I'm taking those cells that are problems, and those are just going to go away.
Yeah. Just to confirm, they are lithium iron phosphate, right? You're not running lithium iron or anything.
They're So I'm really running 90% of the time 4 12-volt batteries that I have that are running my system most of the time, that I have tied together for 48 volts, because that doesn't off the high and low like as much as the other batteries do. So, I mean, I got those on sale on Will Prouse had them on sale on Amazon, and I bought them in a cheap. I don't know if you watch him, but he's a big.
I love him. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
So I mean, those are what I'm using. They weren't really intended for this boat, but I grabbed them, and they're kind of what I'm using, because the other batteries, I mean, I've fought with, I've pretty much given up on at this point. I can run off the 100 amp hours that I have working correctly pretty much every day. It's not a problem. Obviously, if it was raining for 2 or 3 days, I'd have to start the Honda. But so far, since I put the solar back on, I only start the Honda just to test it, really. And that's it.
Yeah.
As long as you're paying attention. And I have a shunt, so I know what's coming in and going out.
Yeah.
So I have a good idea what I have for battery, which is kind of nice. I want to get my GX, because before I go away, I'd like to be able to monitor everything remotely when I'm gone from the boat. That would be really nice. So
now, you never really do put your navies at full power, though.
No, I'm not running. I don't run my navies up past 1200 watts for any length of time at all right now.
Yeah.
In the Dismal Swamp, it was 19 degrees with a wind chill of -4 or something. And we had ice, and we got up in the morning, and the Yamaha was frozen.
Wow.
I couldn't get water out of it. So I started up the Honda and ran the two Evos for the entire day at like 1,300 watts each. I think I could get out of the Honda generator and roll along in the Dismal Swamp.
It works.
It worked. I mean, it's loud, but it worked. Not any
Love
louder than Yamaha though at like 4,500. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the suggestion from Yamaha to run the Yamaha at 4,500 RPM, it's really loud. I never run it at 4,500 RPM now, unless I mean, I do for a few minutes here and there just to make sure. But other than that, I'm running it down 5.
So Rob, at 2,500 RPMs, how many knots are you getting to the water on the boat?
So I have it. So at 2,500 RPMs, I'm running my Evos at 500 each, and I'm running with, let's say, no current. I'm running at like almost 4 knots.
What about if you run the Yamaha at 4,500? What are you getting to the water?
I can get about 6 knots out of this. It's hard to get much more than 6 out of this boat. I imagine sailing you can get more than that, but with the Yamaha, if you're down, of course, if you're running with the current and the wind, that's a whole different ball game, right?
Yeah.
When I left Daytona, I was running the current to, I forget the beach. It begins with an I or something. I ran the current the whole way. We were running it like just barely in gear, and the Navy's at 500, and we were doing almost 6 knots. So the current was huge. Like
it was pushing from behind. Yeah,
it was pushing from behind, and I ran from Daytona all the way to that beach town.
Must have been in Islandia or Atlantic or something.
Yeah, that's the name of it. It had a beautiful dog park that you could let your dog free on the beach and run around and play with dogs. Yeah, we loved it there. I mean, but keep moving, right? To a certain degree. We've been here. We stopped on Thursday because I couldn't see a better place to stay, and I don't like moving on the weekends on the ICW if I can help it.
Hey, Gustavo. How you doing, bud?
We had a comment from Gustavo, so everyone say hi or wave. But I wanted to also segue just a little bit here, because one of the things we like to hear about from our special guests is what their adventure that they have in mind for the near term is. Like, what's your coming adventures? What are your plans as you are out there in that beautiful setting that you're just flexing on all of us as we're stuck in rooms and you're out there in the beautiful great yonder?
Well, this year, not too much other than getting it on the hard. We're going to enjoy our trip down to southern Florida. I don't know if we go past our turn to where we're going to take it out or not. We'll see how things go. But next year, the Bahamas. And I do want to do your adventure as well, Jason. I do want to do the Great Loop. It's been
let's go.
Dream of mine since I was. So I grew up on Lake Champlain. My dad, I spent many hours fishing in a 10-foot John boat on Lake Champlain, and it would always be as I was freezing or sweating, jealous of all the big yachts that went by. So, my dad would tell me, well, they can go any other way in the world from here. And that's always amazed me,
That's so cool, isn't it?
So if I do the Great Loop, though, I'm going up Lake Champlain all the way to Canada and cut back over from there. So.
Well, that's so awesome. If we can interrupt real quick, we do, because I want to revisit that because I want to hear more. In fact, I want to plan somehow where we at least do some part of it as buddy boats. Can you imagine 2 solar-powered buddy boats? Let's go. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Gustavo says...
you'll be coming down the West Coast when I'm, or coming up the East Coast probably when I'm getting back in the water.
See, we're gonna have to time that. That's gonna be great. Gustavo throws something out there. Let's take a look at that. He says, "Great comments on comparison of the Yamaha outboard versus the Navy's. Do you have a gas consumption versus speed?"
Not really. For the winter when I was running pretty much all gas, and it's so tough when you're either with the current or against the current. Um, I was running on average 35 miles a day, and that was about 5 gallons of gas, roughly speaking.
Not much. Yeah.
Some days I would do 49, some days I would be 25. I did some really long runs on the Delaware and the Chesapeake, and those were overnight runs in New Jersey Seacoast. But those were all, the other thing with those is you can use autopilot, right? So
Right.
you can set it and you can basically stand inside, which I drive from outside, but I could stand inside and just set a timer and check every half an hour to make sure there was nothing around me. You know what I mean? Nothing was going to sneak up on me in a half an hour's time, like out in an open area. And believe it or not, the Delaware River and the Chesapeake are pretty open compared to a lot of land.
Hey Rob, what are you running? What are you running for a gas tank in that? Do you have an external gas tank, or are you running the onboard gas?
I have one 12-gallon tank, and then I have 3 5-gallon cans in the front and 3 5-gallon cans in a storage thing, which I'm not thrilled about carrying all that gas. When I get the electric working better and I have more sailor, I'd like to be down to 3 cans mounted on the front and just a small, like the 12-gallon, can auxiliary tank that plugs into the Yamaha.
Now, along those lines, we've got another follow-up question here regarding your generator. So you've got the Honda, I think you said it was the 2000.
Yes.
And when you're using that, how much gas are you using? Because they have a tank internally, like of about a gallon or so, right?
Yeah, it's just under a gallon. I think it's like 0.8.
It doesn't use much.
So we could run. So a few nights we actually ran an electric heater in our bedroom off the Honda generator because we at the time only had a propane tent heater before we got the diesel heater. So we would fill that up, right? And the batteries would be charged by then. And then I could run about 8 hours and run the 500-watt little electric heater to keep us from freezing to death in the
Smart.
cabin. So that was usually
I was
about a gallon a day when I didn't have solar, just in operation.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was
$4. $4.
Yeah, just the solar panels have eliminated that pretty much completely. You know what I mean?
Wow. And
I wasn't running the hot water barely at all when I was running off the generator once in a blue moon. Now we heat at the end of the day. We always heat up the water, in the late afternoon sun after we've stopped. We're not using the solar. The batteries are topped off generally, and so we heat up hot water for dishes and everything at night, washing up.
Do you have any portable air conditioning unit on there or no?
I bought one. I don't have it. I have they make heat pumps that run off 48 volts now. The small portable like tent ones. It didn't work good enough for heating. We tried it before we left in Connecticut. It just wasn't going to be effective as a heating unit. I don't know if it would be effective as a cooling unit. It's actually at my niece's house. I'm hoping that I can dehumidify the boat for the summer with it.
Ooh.
What is it? Is it a swamp cooler or it's an air conditioning
unit? It's an actual air conditioning unit. I could send you an Amazon link or something for it. It's 48 volts. There's 2 or 3 different models that are 48. The attraction for me was at 48 volts, right? So yeah. I didn't have to convert to 120, from my 48 volt system. I could run it straight off my 48 volt system.
Wow.
And it is
Yeah, that's great.
really, it's way more efficient than anything you could do any other way.
Rob, I wonder if you would be happy to toss that out as a comment after the fact,
Yeah,
so that
I can
we'd
send
be
you
able to access that.
what I have. I mean, it wouldn't heat in the Northeast efficiently enough. It's not really made for the square footage that I was trying to use it in. It's
Sure.
a small tent or
Yeah.
or a teardrop.
Yeah.
I have a teardrop as well. We might go to the Grand Canyon next year before we go boating. We haven't.
Living the dream, living the adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. In the next couple of years, we're going to consider selling the house, but I don't know. I have a few other hobbies that would make difficult, so I don't know. In the summer, see, I work for a fireworks company, right? So I'm a licensed pyrotechnician, and I also hobbyist who builds his own stuff. As far as fireworks, is one of my other passions. So that you need space, and fireworks and don't mix, so you can't do it on a boat.
You don't want to be building fire. You don't want to be building a lab.
Let's not do that on the boat.
Exactly.
No. Now, as far as you were talking about, maybe one day doing the loop, you're talking about Lake Champlain, you've talked about the Bahamas as an option. Sounds like you're following what I know really stirs in my heart a bit after our loop, which is follow the birds. Just follow the birds up and down the East Coast and have a good time doing it. I mean, that sounds like a terrible, awful experience. Like, who would want to do something like that, right? Like, gross. Are you kidding me? Let's go. That sounds amazing. Now, up there in the East Coast, sounds like you're familiar with all that area pretty good. What do you think about a boat like ours, a boat like yours, even a boat like Aaron's, the big girl? Where are the sweet spots to go up there? What are the places that a boat with our setups would really flourish? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the New York Canal system is amazing. I mean, I have some experience. I wouldn't say I'm widely experienced with it, but I have some experience with it. And getting up that way, you get your tides. You're definitely, Jason, you're definitely going to want to run those tides in your favor when you get into New York Harbor and start getting up above there, because you can get 4 or 5 hours each way, and you're probably going to want to plan that out.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to run against the tide. Like, you're going to find that a real battle, I have a feeling. When you get way up in the canal, then that pretty much disappears, and you don't really have that problem. There's a lot of free docks in the New York Canal system that you can pull right up, tie up. Some even have free electricity, believe it or not.
Oh, let's go.
I mean, if you have the time, I would definitely. I mean, you're probably going to take the Erie Canal over, to the Great Lakes. But
Oh, yeah.
if you have a day or two, you should take the turn to Lake Champlain. At least go up through Whitehall to Fort Ticonderoga.
Okay.
Come back down. That's probably only going to take you a couple days to go up there and back. And there's a free dock at Whitehall that you can stay at, and there's a couple good anchorages around Fort Ticonderoga, which is an interesting little spot. If you're into history and Revolutionary War, and
Oh my God. Yeah, that sounds. No, who would want to know anything about that? Oh my God, I love that stuff. That stuff's amazing. I know for us, we're going to be on a tight schedule to get to Chicago in time. And so I think more than anything, it would be after we cross our wake and complete our loop, we'll be wanting to go back up. Our daughter, lives and works around West Point. And so we'll be heading back up that way after our loop. And I think on that end of the trip would be more likely for us to go further up. I would love to go up into Lake Champlain. Heck, I'd love to go to all the way up to Montreal. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I've been to Berlin and back on the lake. I haven't. I want to go to Montreal for sure. Are you going into the Canadian section of the Great Loop, or are you?
Oh yeah, that's the reason we're stressed on time a little bit on all this is to, I mean, obviously weather dependent, but as teachers, we have to wrap up the school year or we'd already be out there going. Um, and so, yeah, we're going to do the Trent Severn. We're going to go over, do the Georgian Bay and spend a good amount of time out there. That's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, Georgian Bay interests me and the Trent Seven both. I mean, both of those would love to go through for sure.
How fun would that be for us to put Megawatt and Soul Seeker together? That'd be such a blast. Together, we'd have actually a megawatt of power between us, wouldn't we?
There you go.
Mega Soul, yeah.
Right? That's great. Well, I really have enjoyed today's conversation. I hope everyone else out there who's been watching has as well. With each episode, I know Rob, you're a veteran of solar sailing, so you know how this wraps up. We like to kind of end with our final thoughts, our big takeaways. And one of the things that I will start on with this is I love how your boat, you've taken the angle of, I'm going to get out there and do it. I'm going to learn as I go. And then I'm going to adapt. I'm going to slap solar panels on the side of my boat and let them adjust. And that's brilliant. I love how you're like, let's make this work and we'll perfect it as we go. I think that's a really commendable way to go about it. And I'm just impressed and applaud you in your efforts. I know that with that comes all the adventures, I'll call them, holes that get ripped into your boat as the solar, structure comes crashing on you. And that's, don't want to do that. But look at you go, man. You're making it happen. You're choosing adventure and you're living it. That's really cool. Fellas, which one of you wants to go next? What are your takeaways?
Yeah, so I really like the idea, and I'm gonna contact Rob offline after this for sure about those foldaways on the sides. I sure hope he keeps them. I love that idea. Like I really love that. And like Jason said, Rob's definitely not a keyboard warrior or a critic. He's out there doing it. I mean, you fail at it, you figure it out, you improve on it, and you just keep going. So, I mean, I look at the event or the situation where the side of the solar failed, so to speak, and put a hole in the boat. And that looking at that, I'm sure Rob is like, wow, I learned something from that, and I'm going to put it all back together and go again, because really failing is how we learn. And if you're not failing, you're either not doing enough stuff or you're not learning. So, I mean, that's important to me. I've seen a lot of ideas. Definitely there's a lot of out of the box thinking and stuff that goes along with what he's doing. And, all of us, right? It's all one big experiment. Whether that's fortunately or unfortunately, it is one big experiment. So I've seen a lot of things that I like that he's done that are really out of the box. And I mean, with the boom, there's another gentleman that's selling a boat right now that did manage to get the boom. He has a similar setup. He managed to get the boom above the solar panels. I'm sure that Rob's probably seen it for sale. He managed to get the boom above the solar panels where there's a little bit of room there where it can swing. So all of these things, I mean, when I'm looking at it and he's going through it, I'm like, wow. So, people, the keyboard warriors and the critics are going to tell you it's impossible, but he's doing it. So it is possible. So yeah, that's my take on everything. Go ahead, Patrick.
So I've actually got a request for Rob. I'd like to learn something from you. Now, you're running a hybrid boat, but you've got both types of hybrid. You've got a series hybrid when you're on the generator, and you've got a parallel hybrid when you run the outboard motor. And I'd like you to test it over the next however long you want to test it and give us some feedback on which is your preferred method going forward and why. I think that would be really interesting. So looking forward to hearing from that.
Cool.
Rob, you get the final word, brother. What are your thoughts? We've had a great conversation. We really appreciate your time and your willingness to come and share your adventure and your project with us. But what are your final thoughts?
Well, first of all, thank you, Patrick, for giving you were the warrior who kind of, set me down this path of being able to move somewhat with solar, because when I went with my motor cruiser to the Keys and the dream of kind of moving around by boat, the gas price was horrifying.
Mhm.
So I really needed a different method and a different thing. I couldn't work into the budget the gas. You know what I mean? I just not that kind of gas. And so this is, it's still a work in progress, but it's getting there for sure. More solar, obviously. It's and if you're, I mean, if you're dreaming at doing something and doing something different, just go and do it. Like you're gonna make mistakes if they're not too, and sometimes they are gonna be costly. But if there's a will, there's a way, and that's how I feel
Yep.
about it. So,
For
and
sure.
yes, Patrick, I will do some more testing and get some more numbers because I'm interested in it as well. I really wanna. Um, I want to get this boat a little lighter and see what it can do as far as electric, as far as being completely electric on occasions and quiet. I really appreciate, even when I'm in a hybrid mode and I'm below 2,000 RPMs on the Honda, it's just so pleasant to be on the boat because it's not noisy at all. Even with the gas on, it's really, if you're below 2,000 RPMs, it's barely noticeable. You can't hear the Yana when you start it. When it's not throttled up, you can't.
What is that? Is that a Yamaha 4-stroke or a 2-stroke?
It's a 4-stroke. It's a brand
yeah.
new.
It's silent. Yeah, it's silent then. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And I have considered putting some sort of noise like reduction over it a bit too, but I don't think I'll go there. To tell you the truth, I got enough other projects to do. I
I
have
love
a
it.
replacing too, so I'm gonna have to get that done this year.
Well, again, Rob, from all of us and from those in the comments as well, we really appreciate you taking your time and joining us today. And for everyone, next week, we are going to be talking about routine maintenance checklists. So I want you to think daily chores along the boat or around the boat. So your daily checklist, your weekly checklist, your bi-weekly, your monthly, all those types of checklists, things that you need to think about routine maintenance wise. And so that's what we're going to be chatting about next week. We hope you'll join us. I think it's going to be a great episode. Um, and then following up the rest of the month, we do have how to pay for this life. And then we've got safety and redundancy. So we've got a full slate of episodes and topics coming the rest of this month. And we hope you'll join us each week. We stick to the 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, and whatever the heck time it is, wherever Patrick might be. Goodness gracious. That guy, he's just a world traveler. He's over in Portugal. He's over in South Africa. Oh, now he's in Greece. He's living the life we all want to live, and it's pretty impressive. So with that, I'll turn
Hopefully,
it over to
Greece.
Patrick to take us away.
Thanks for watching.